Welcome back to Selenon Rising. So we saw these computers last time and we're going to find out what these moving scenes are, I hope. Are those cameras?
Yeah, we can see what's happening in the dome using a combination of the beacons and the old cameras that used to be part of the ancient security system.
I'm surprised that he's telling me this much about their operation. It makes me trust him a little bit more, but that just doubles my suspicion. You're telling me some pretty sensitive information.
I want you to trust me, so that when I show you what I've discovered, you'll take me at my word.
And what exactly would that be?
Once I was able to reactivate the missing beacon, I triangulated the signal that I've been searching for.
Which was...
Sandman.
I thought Sandman was one of Zarla's people. I'll be honest, I don't actually remember them talking about this, but maybe they did.
He was, but his views were too extreme. Zarla kicked him out a couple of months back. Said he should go proselytize on his own time.
Is that how you spell that word? What was he trying to get her to do?
Sandman, or should I say Dr. Alexi, became convinced that he can destroy the Selenon.
What? Is that even possible? What does that mean?
If you give me a minute to finish, I'll explain.
Of course. Sorry, you just surprised me.
Sandman thought that if he could hack into the ancient missile silos beneath the city, he would be able to assassinate their leader, the Dark One.
The Dark One? I've never heard of such a thing.
To be honest, I doubt most of the Bureau knows much about him. But there is evidence he does exist, and Sandman believes that he commands the Selenon.
What good would that do? Even if he managed to take out their leader, there would surely be a second in command.
See, that's part of his theory. The Selenon all share group consciousness with their leader, giving up most of their free will. I think it was called absolute something or other. The point is that if their leader dies without giving up control, they become vulnerable to suggestion.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
Someone can even order them to kill themselves, and they do it, no questions asked.
That could very well be the case, but if he's wrong...
That's what Zarla thought too. The plan wasn't worth the risk. If it failed, the Bureau would have the perfect excuse to come down on us harder than ever before, probably wiping us out for good. Not to mention how the Selenon would react. They'd attack the city again. A lot of people would die, both inside and outside the dome.
So at this point, he already knows we're from the Bureau. Right, yeah, that's right. We established that in the last episode. So all the things that have been going on, the burglaries, the tech being collected, they're all connected to Sandman and this plan?
I would bet my life on it. I've been trying to figure out how far along he is in his plan, but with the beacon disabled and the crackdowns on tech movement, I've been having a hard time pinpointing his activity. Until today, that is.
You think he's going to go through with it?
I know he is. Or at least he's going to try. The murder you were investigating, Al Grange.
Of course, he was a mathematician.
Exactly. Between his math skills, his knowledge of physics, and his dirty little hobby of collecting tech on the side, he was one of the few people in the city who would be able to figure out the trajectory needed to fire a missile from beneath the earth and maybe hit something. I know he was struggling financially, and I have no doubt that the Sandman paid him to work out the equation, probably telling him it was a theoretical problem.
So you think Sandman killed him afterwards to cover his tracks?
I don't know about that. Sandman had already gotten away without raising any alarms at that point. It seems weird to me that he would go back and kill Grange after that.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. Like, it was probably somebody, like, maybe Zarla's people who killed Grange in an attempt to make Sandman not have, like, the answer that he needed.
But looking beyond that, we need to figure out a way to stop him before he can carry out his plan.
We?
Yes, even though I'm part of the Resistance, we happen to have a common goal in this instance. Neither of us can afford to let this attack happen. Zarla can't sneak into the dome in time, not after what happened earlier. The guards are on high alert. If you can't do it, no one will.
I suppose you're right.
But you can't tell them your cover was blown.
I want to know why, if Sam knew this stuff, why he wouldn't come to the Bureau himself and tell them, instead of waiting for like a secret agent to come. So, I mean, it sounds interesting. Let's go with this. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm used to working on the fringes. Yeah, I feel like our character's personality, they would do it, or they would do like basically anything. So, for their job.
I didn't expect you to agree with me. But if that's the case, then I'm glad you see why this is necessary. Necessary.
If I told the chief about all these computers, I'd probably receive a commendation. But for the first time, I find myself wanting to preserve this technology. I can only hope that this choice will be the right one. Oh, Chapter 3. Blast Radius. This episode 1 is way longer than I thought it would be. Also, why wasn't he in our dossier before? We talked to him before. After removing my mask, I pull up at our agreed-upon rendezvous point in the alley in Midtown. Blue is there, leaning against a brick wall and staring up at what little sky is visible from the crack between the buildings. I walk towards him, and he shakes his head as he turns to look. It's about time you got here. Where have you been? I don't know, check the car tracker. I realize that I should go back and see if I can maintain my cover with Sam at Bolts. That's insane, Vi. You were supposed to abort the mission. I was so close. I had to see if it worked. Well, did it? Yeah, it did. Blue looks a little skeptical. That was a really risky move, Vi. What if he heard JJ call you out? You don't know whether that mic really has an off switch. Well, it was worth the risk. I got quite a bit of info from him when I went back. Oh yeah? And how did you do that? What can I say? I am extremely charming. Blue laughs and shakes his head. Alright, what did you get? I thought we were going to have a drink. Fair enough. Come on, let's go to Fletcher's. It's right up the street. Sounds like a plan. We make our way down the darkening street. Blue's hand brushes against mine. I glance sideways at him, and he's looking straight ahead, but I catch a glimpse of the crooked smile that's on his face. I shake my head and look forward. We make our way into Fletcher's and sit down at the bar. We both order a drink and take them to a quieter table in the corner of the bar. I suddenly realize that I won't be able to drink anything with my mask still on, but it seems to detect this, and I feel a hatch slide open in my mouth. It's good to know that it's still functioning after the debacle earlier. Or debacle, I think. I just hope it will last long enough for me to change out of the outfit. Like, why are you still wearing the mask if, like, the hair part doesn't exist anymore? Or spill. Oh, wait, no, the hair part apparently still exists. There's a lot. Well, we better get started then. I have a hot date later. I choke cough on my drink. What? I half coughed the question at him, and he looks extremely amused. I'm totally kidding, Vi. I mean, Rhonda. My only hot date later is you. I feel vaguely uncomfortable and very confused, but I shake it off and plow on. Apparently, the chain of robberies wasn't orchestrated by JJ, but rather by our old friend, Sandman, just like we suspected in the first place. Blue makes a grunt of surprise, but doesn't say anything, so I press on. You were right to think that he was shut out of Zarla's cell. Apparently, he was tossed out a couple of months ago because of a crazy plan to take down the Selenon. Take down the Selenon? What's that supposed to mean? That's what I said. He's planning on tapping into the ancient missile silos underneath the city to try and launch a missile at the Dark One. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who is this Dark One you're talking about? Supposedly the ruler of the Selenon, and Sandman thinks that if he kills the Dark One, he'll make them all defenseless.
Even if he's right, that plan is goddamn insane.
I know. Anyway, he's been gathering the tech and the information he needs to pull off this plan for the past few months. He used Grange's knowledge of physics and math to get him to calculate the missile trajectory.
And they killed him.
Either he did, or someone else who was trying to get some information about him from Grange.
Let's assume that it was Sandman for now. This guy isn't joking around.
No, he's not. I already called it into the Bureau on my way back from Bolts. Apparently they forgot those missiles even existed. But when they checked it out, they discovered that power and the control systems had been restored. Sandman's been a very busy bee.
So, are we just sitting around waiting for it to happen then?
No, we're taking steps. And so are the rebels.
Really?
Yeah, this is one area in which we all agree.
If you say so.
So, what did you find out? Anything else from JJ?
Not really. He shut up pretty quick when we got to the Central, but I imagine they'll get a bit more from him. At least now we're pretty sure he was telling the truth about not killing Grange.
Is that so? We both take long sips from our drinks. I look down at the cocktail napkin under my drink. It has a dark ring of moisture on it, and is beginning to break apart from the sweat coming down from my drink. Ew, please don't describe that as sweat. Just call it condensation. That sounds gross. I look back up, and Blue is staring at me.
So, what's your schedule like in the morning?
The chief called me in for a meeting first thing. I think he wants me to explain my info more thoroughly.
Can't really blame him. You did manage to get a lot out of your source.
As I said, I'm just very charming when I need to be.
You really are.
Blue says this sincerely, and his sincerity surprises me.
You should stay at my joint tonight. It's a lot closer to headquarters, and you need to get as much sleep as you can after the day you've had.
Is that appropriate? I'm not sure that would be appropriate.
I promise I'll act completely appropriately.
It's probably a bad idea.
Maybe, but wouldn't you be more comfortable with some company? Having hundreds of bullets shot at you isn't what I'd call a relaxing day.
I'd be fine by myself.
Oh, I know you'd be fine, but I'd be up all night worried. Do me this favor?
I guess. I agree partially because I'm too tired to argue, and partially because I secretly think it might be nice to have some company. The flip in my stomach that has been annoyingly present for the past several days has returned. It feels like I have a fish flopping around in there.
Good. Let's hit the pavement. It's getting late.
Blue leads the way to the door. Just as he's about to pull the door open, I put my hand on his arm. Blue, you have to promise. No weirdness, okay? Blue looks at me with his half-amused, half-serious smile. It is a kind smile, though, and it makes my insides flood with warmth.
Vi, I swear everything will be fine. No weirdness.
I nod, and Blue pulls open the door. Night has settled in over the city, and we head out into the darkness towards Blue's apartment. Blue pulls out the keys to his apartment as we make our way up the stairs.
I'll apologize in advance. My apartment's a bit messy.
That's okay. Whoa. So, how many TVs do you have? I'm nervous for some reason. I clasp my hands together in front of me as Blue unlocks the door and pushes it open. I look inside and my nervousness momentarily disappears. The first thing I notice is the static playing in the background. For a moment, I think my mask is breaking down again. So I touch them to try and clear away the noise, but then I notice a series of televisions lined up along the walls, all tuned to a dead channel. As Blue steps into the room, he deftly avoids piles of paper and books scattered across the floor. Jesus, Blue, you weren't kidding. The apartment is small and cluttered. The front door leads straight into a living room just big enough for the line of televisions, a couch, a coffee table, and a few cabinets along the wall. Piles of things sit around the couch, which seems to serve as Blue's main workstation when he's working from home on a case. It's not that messy in the picture. I guess this is like what it looks like when it's clean.
I told you it was messy.
I believe your exact words were a bit messy. This is a construction site. Blue laughs and gestures for me to put my bag and coat down on the couch. I take a closer look at the piles surrounding the couch and see that they are stacks of papers and books haphazardly balanced atop one another. I look over at the televisions, confused. Why do you have all this junk? If you collect these, I'm starting to seriously doubt your sanity.
Oh, those aren't personal effects, they're work.
I sense a shift in his emotions and I look straight at him. What kind of work? Are you a TV repairman on the side? Blue stares back at me, unwavering, before breaking his gaze in slight embarrassment.
It's a personal project. I'm, trying to get in touch with the Selenon.
What? That sounds pretty crazy. Blue gestures towards one of the seemingly busted TVs.
They all work fine, but the signal I'm looking for isn't on any channel. I haven't had much luck yet, unfortunately.
Man, everyone just has crazy plans today. He's got crazy plans. Sandman has crazy plans. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I have crazy plans because I'm being a double agent right now. I'm taken aback. I know he's telling the truth. And yet the truth seems to stretch beyond the realms of his personality. The Blue I know is not one for conspiracy theories or meticulous work done on hunches. Blue, is there something you're not telling me?
No.
Suddenly I feel like he's about to kill us or something, but that's probably not going to happen. I might be less than perfect at a lot of things, but detecting liars isn't one of them. I know you're hiding something.
Fine, but I'm warning you, it's stupid.
Try me.
A while back, I had a strange dream. I know, but this one felt a lot like the feeling I get when I, see something.
I, forgot that he was psychic. Maybe he already predicted that we would become a double agent. You mean it was a prediction?
Yeah, but I usually predict things a few seconds in advance, and this didn't feel close at all. It was distant.
How could that be possible?
Who knows? Psychics are still a giant enigma, but if I had to guess, I'd say it was an incredibly powerful force to reach me like that.
I'm almost afraid to ask what you saw.
It wasn't much, to be honest. More of a feeling than anything. There was someone calling for help, calling for me, but I couldn't help them. I just felt so weak.
So that's why you want to talk to the Selenon?
I know. It's a long shot, but maybe I could figure out what exactly that force was.
Why do I feel like there's more to this than you're willing to tell me?
Look, it's no big deal, Vi. Just some stupid idea got into my head. Why don't you take a load off?
I sit down heavily on the worn-looking couch, partially out of exhaustion and partially out of shock at this strange revelation. Blue moves into the small kitchen just off the living room. I can see him from where I sit, opening and shutting cabinets. Does he seem nervous too? I'm distracted from that thought as I realize there's another issue I need to take care of.
Would you like a drink?
Didn't we just have drinks? We were just at a bar. Yeah, sure. Blue grabs 2 glasses from a kitchen cabinet and then heads over to a small discolored cabinet in one corner of the living room and pulls out a bottle of amber liquid. I grab my bag from next to me and rummage around in it for a minute until I find the clothes I went to the bureau in earlier. I've been wanting to take this disguise off for a while now. I remove the mask and then start to strip out of my clothing while Blue is busy in the kitchen. Unfortunately, my plans take a nosedive when Blue comes in a little earlier than I expected.
What? Cripes?
He nearly chokes on his drink and comes close to dropping the other glass that is intended for me when he sees me standing there.
What?
Oh, I read it in the wrong voice.
You're naked.
Blue has turned halfway away from me, but I can also see him sneaking looks out of the corner of his eye. Oh god, it's getting awkward.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I just had no idea you were so bold.
What? No, Blue, I was just changing, not stripping. Blue's shoulders relax and a grin spreads across his face.
You know there's a bathroom for that.
Oh, shut up. Like, what? Who just randomly changes in somebody else's house? Like, go to the bathroom. I'm even more eager to put on my uniform now. Blue's eyes are making me uncomfortably warm. Then, where is it?
Right over there, it's just through the bedroom.
Okay, I'm going to go change properly. I grab my clothes from the couch and walk quickly through the bedroom to the bathroom. Blue's bedroom is surprisingly tidy, given the state of the rest of his apartment. As I start changing my clothes, I hear Blue laughing in the other room. What are you laughing at? I say it loudly, so it travels through the bathroom door and out into the living room.
Oh, nothing. Just you. You are adorable.
I quickly finish putting my clothes on and go back into the living room. Are you drunk? Adorable. How much have you had to drink?
Not much at all. I spit most of it all over the room when you were in your little onesie before.
I am not adorable. That is so patronizing. Blue had been laughing silently, but when I say this, he stops laughing and looks at me seriously.
You're right. I'm very sorry. Adorable isn't the right word. I meant to say beautiful. You are beautiful.
Beautiful?
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh. I can't think of anything to say, but my insides are going crazy. I feel like my head is going to explode from the rush of emotions that overwhelm me. Blue seems to see what's going on in my mind. He touches my hand lightly, but doesn't make a move to do anything else.
Here, your drink.
It takes me a moment to find my voice. I clear my throat. Thank you.
Let's have some dinner, shall we?
Yeah. Blue leads the way to the small kitchen, and I stand awkwardly in the doorway as he begins pulling ingredients out of the fridge.
Do you like to cook?
Usually don't have time.
It can be time-consuming, but I love it. There's something very satisfying about working with your hands and using your brain in a different way.
Right. I'm still standing stiffly in the doorway. Blue looks over at me and then stops what he's doing. He walks over to me, takes my hand, and pulls me farther into the kitchen. He touches my cheek lightly, and then places a knife and cutting board on the counter in front of me. Are we going to cook? Are we? Probably, but either way, you'll find out in the next episode. Thanks for watching.